Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box, episode 99. It's your game week 23 review. Coming to you slightly later than normal on this Monday evening in this week's edition of Banter in the Box. I will be revealing the game week 23 winners and losers. 4 winners who all receive a manager of the season point, and 4 losers who where they had them all lose a manager of the season point. I've got a quote of the week, 2 new additions to the Wall of Shame, and a manager of the season update. Last week's Who the Fuck Is That was a 3-pointer. Did anyone bag those 3 points? I'll be revealing all later. So, your game week 23 winners, take a bow. Never the Boys manager Jack Hawksby, who's having a strong end to the season, climbed 2 places this week up to 24th, making him the biggest climbers in game week 23. Nobody else climbed as many as 2 places this week, and 24th is a season high for Jack. You have to go back to the end of last season for the last time he was that high in the table. Take a bow also on the Buses manager Sarah Goodwin, climbed another place this week to 14th. Or maybe 13th, I can't remember now. It was around 13th or 14th, but whichever one it was, that is her highest league position in this, her debut season. Take a bow also Ostrich Bar Stewards manager Steve Maloney, stayed 4th in the table, but with 58 points he got a half share in the weekly win, and it was a half share with the Mad Hatter, who climbed a place to 5th. Also scoring 58 points, and they both scored the same amount of goals and the same amount of assists, so I couldn't split them. A half share in the weekly win for both of them, and Jordan's climb to 5th meant that that's the highest he's been in the league since the opening week of the season, when he was also 5th. Well done, Mad Hatter. They are your game week 23 winners, 1 manager of the season point to those 4. Your game week 23 losers, hide your head in shame. Sashamas FC manager Wayne Robinson, 1 week after being a weekly winner, he's a game week loser. He's fell 3 places this week, down to 8th, making him the biggest fallers this week, and that's the lowest he's been since game week 17. Hide your head in shame also Megan Hoxley, Chamberlain manager Megan Hoxby, fell another place down to 28th. You have to go back to the 19th of August 2021 for the last time Megan was as low as 28th in the table. Hide your head in shame H, Abs FC manager in this his debut season, fell another place this week to 19th. That's the lowest he's ever been in his FFFL history. This is his debut season. And hide your head in shame great Uncle George Moody, Clockhouse Rangers, staying rooted to the bottom of the table. George was the lowest scorer again this week, registering -5 points. Where they had them, 1 manager of the season point lost. Now this week's quote of the week comes from the Mad Hatter himself. The Mad Hatter made an invalid transfer this week and sent me this message. Hey Jeff, I think I just realised my transfer is not valid. I already have a Nottingham Forest player. Now, Jordan had made that transfer, and I had mistakenly, I don't normally take the laptop away when I'm on holiday, and I probably won't do it again, but this time I decided to take it with me and try and keep up to date with the fantasy football. But I obviously wasn't concentrating, because Jordan sent the transfer through and I checked it and sent back and said, yeah, it's fine. Turned out it wasn't. The Mad Hatter went on to say, so I think we can both agree we have both dropped the ball on that one. So can we all just forget about this debacle and Wall of Shames and other such things? I think otherwise we'll both be shamed. Thank you and good morning. Well, I enjoyed that quote so much, Jordan, that I've made it the quote of the week, and that earns you 1 manager of the season point. And now we move on to the Wall of Shame. You will remember I've got a life manager Mops Hoxby and Hatch United manager Neil Hatch were both already on the Wall of Shame for making invalid transfers. And this week, yours truly appears on the wall of shame. Not because I made an invalid transfer, obviously I know the rules, but because I mistakenly failed to see that somebody else had made an invalid transfer, so it was only fair that I appeared on the wall of shame. And the other manager appearing on the wall of shame is the Creed Bratton Society manager, the Mad Hatter, who did a transfer this week, but it meant he had two players who weren't from his nominated club. So 4 of us on the wall of shame. Will we get any more? Time will tell. Now, who the fuck is that? It was a 3-point answer. 3 current Family Fantasy Football League managers pictured there. And remember, to get the 3 points, you have to get all the managers correct. You don't get a point if you get one of them. You don't get any points if you get 2 of them. To get any points at all, you have to get all 3 managers correct. 4 managers had a go this week. Benny United manager Mark Benwell thought that it was a picture of Lyndon's Lovely's manager Joe Hoxby, Never the Boys manager Jack Hoxby, and yours truly, Chairman's Choice. I can tell you, Mark, that is an incorrect guess. So who shall we go to next? Let's go to the Big Knobs manager. Simon Hoxby had a go. He thought that it was a picture of Lyndon's Lovely's manager, Joe Hoxby, Never the Boys manager, Jack Hoxby, and Megan Hoxley Chamberlain manager, Megan Hoxby. I can tell you, bruv, that is an incorrect guess. And then Hatch United manager Neil Hatch and On the Buses manager Sarah Goodwin both submitted exactly the same guess. They both thought that it was a picture of Lyndon's Lovely's manager Joe Hoxby, No Happy Endings manager Di Maloney, and yours truly, Chairman's Choice manager. I can tell you, and Sarah and Neil, that was also an incorrect guess. So we're going to roll it over next week. It's going to be worth 6 manager of the season points, but I'm going to give you a little clue now. I'm not going to reveal which of those guesses were correct, but I am going to reveal how many of the 3 guesses were correct. So pay attention if you're making notes. Mark said it was a picture of Joe, Jack and Jeff. I can tell you that 1 of those guesses was correct. Simon said it was a picture of Joe, Jack and Meg. I can tell you that 1 of those guesses was correct. Sarah and Neil thought it was a picture of Joe, Di and myself. I can tell you that 2 of those guesses were correct. So we're rolling it over to next week. It's going to be worth 6 manager of the season points, but to get those 6 points you have to tell me all 3 current Family Fantasy Football League managers that are pictured there. Now the manager of the season table after all of that looks like this. Wayne Robinson drops to joint 15th for being a game week 23 loser. The Mad Hatter climbs to joint 15th for getting a quote of the week and being a game week 23 winner. Megan drops to 14th for being a game week 23 loser. Sarah Goodwin consolidates 2nd place and closes the gap on leaders Simon Hoxby to 12 points. 6 manager of the season points on offer next week if you can name the 3 current Family Fantasy Football League managers pictured there. There'll also be the normal manager of the season points on offer for anyone who sends me an amusing or funny or interesting quote. Dirt about other managers will get you loads of manager of the season points if it's good. Banter on the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook page is welcome, but only if it's funny. I mean, sorry, all banter's more than happy, but I'm only going to give manager of the season points to something that I find funny or amusing or insulting to somebody else. That's good. And until next week, which is episode 100 of Banter in the 100 episodes of Banter in the Box. I'll have to do something special, I guess, but I probably won't have time. But until next week, take care, and I'll see you all at the normal time, hopefully, of Friday evening. Bye bye.